In this video, we're going to learn how to create the actual trip on Google Earth. Since you've already had a chance to play around with Google Earth, this really will be easy. I'm going to explain how to create a place mark, one for each of the locations you want your students to visit within your Google Lit trip. I will show you how to add a description to your locations, and then I will show you how to create a file where you will save each of the place marks for your trip. We will learn how to polish the final product in the next video. Ready to go? Start by opening your storyboard that you have already created for your Google Lit trip. Next, we will need to open Google Earth. I've already have Google Earth installed on my computer, and I'm going to click the icon at the bottom of my screen to open Google Earth. Alright, so here we are. And I can go back and forth between my storyboard, which is a Word document, and Google Earth by clicking on the right icon at the bottom of my screen. So here we are in Google Earth. Now I can open up my storyboard. The first thing that I need to do is select that first location that I want my students to go to. See, I've already done all of this work, so it's just a matter of copying and pasting the appropriate pieces of information into the Google Earth program. Go back to Google Earth and paste that location in the Fly To search bar. Click on the magnifying glass and off we go. We are going to 38 Eldridge Road. And I've already selected this location because in my earlier research I discovered a little tiny apple orchard right here. And I'm just going to zoom in just a little bit and center that on my screen. Okay, so this is where I think Johnny Appleseed may have been born, on a small apple orchard. And I want to save this location for my students. I'm going to go to the top of my canvas and select my place mark icon, which is a yellow push pin. When I click on that push pin, you'll see that the yellow push pin is surrounded by a flashing yellow frame. When the yellow frame is flashing, that means I can move my push pin around and put it exactly where I want it. So I'm going to place it just right over here so it's not covering the orchard. And you also notice that when I clicked on that push pin, I got this description box. So I'm going to go back to my storyboard, and if you remember, we titled this first place Johnny Appleseed. I'm going to copy that title, go back to Google Earth, and paste that title under name. So this first frame is called Johnny Appleseed. Next, I want to fill in the description box here, so I'm going to go back to my storyboard and select the contents of what I have already typed, copy it, go back to Google Earth, and paste it right into that box. I'm going to clean it up just a little bit, make sure it looks exactly the way I want it to look. I have my description, vocabulary words, and discussion questions. The pin cushion, the place mark icon looks good right there. I'm going to say OK. All right, now we're ready to go to our second location. Go back to your storyboard and scroll down. We are going to 1125 Pleasant Street. We're going to replace this first location with that address, paste it, click on the magnifying glass, and here we go to the other side of Leominster, and I found this much larger apple orchard, and in my imagination this is where Johnny Appleseed moved when he was a teenager, when he became an apprentice to Mr. Clarkson. So we're going to select the place mark icon again, and I'm just going to move it right over here out of the way. Go back to the storyboard. This was called Favorite Place. Copy, back to Google Earth, paste that into the name, and go back to my storyboard, copy, and paste that into the description box, just like that. Again, I'm going to clean this up and make it look perfect. I have my description, some vocabulary words, and discussion questions. My pin cushion looks good right there. All right, good to go. Let's do this one more time. We're going to go to the Susquehanna River in Cooperstown, New York, and I'm going to place that into my Fly To bar, paste, go, and here we are. We're flying across Massachusetts into New York, and we find the headwaters of the Susquehanna River, and you'll notice the river right here, and I'm going to mark that with the yellow marker. I'm going to move that just over a little bit so it's not covering the river. And again, back to my storyboard, I called this place Heading to the Frontier. Copy. Back to Google Earth, I'm going to paste that into the name, and again to my storyboard, copy the information I had already typed and place that into the description box. See, it really was so much easier because we already did all of this work before we even opened Google Earth. So there we go, my place markers there. This looks great. I'm going to say OK. All right, now we're ready to create a folder. We have those 3 locations ready to go there. First thing I want you to notice is all of this information in this box right here is, you don't need any of this. This is just confusing. Just close it. We don't need that. All right, so under places we have 1, 2, 3 places. That's what we wanted. You will always see sightseeing tour at the top of my places. Just ignore that. That's always there, and that's not what we're working with, so just ignore it. But if you go to the words My Places and right click, this menu will pop up. We're going to go to Add and Folder. This untitled folder I'm going to name Johnny Appleseed Lit Trip. And I don't need a description right now, so this is fine for me. I'm going to say OK. And then I want to drop these 3 locations into that folder. So I'm going to just click on one and drop it right into the folder that I created, and the last one. Okay, and then I need to just double check that I have them all in the right order. I have my folder called Johnny Appleseed Lit Trip, and Heading to the Frontier is the first place, and that's not the first place. That was actually the last. So you can see that I can slide these place marks around so that they are in the right order. Johnny Appleseed favorite place, Heading to the Frontier. Perfect. Okay, well that's it for this video. In the next video we are going to learn how to polish this lit trip. But if you have more places for your students to visit in your lit trip like I do, now is the time to finish going back and forth between Google Earth and your storyboard and getting all those places lined up in your lit trip folder. Okay? Why don't you do that, and I'll see you in the next video.